Hi, and welcome to Harding Studios. If you are new here, make sure to hit the like button now and comment down below. Today we are looking at Setup Settings. The Setup tab contains your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera's identification settings, software version, function button settings, and other camera settings not directly linked to recording or monitoring. This menu has 4 pages, which you can cycle through by tapping the arrows at the edge of the LCD touchscreen, or swiping left or right. Set your camera's date and time by tapping the date and time setting. Date and time are also used for time of day timecode, if an external timecode source is not connected. Choose the language of your own. Pocket Cinema Camera supports 11 popular languages: English, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, German, French, Russian, Italian, Portuguese, and Turkish. Under shutter management, we have shutter speed and shutter angle. When using shutter angle, the shutter conforms to the frame rate. For example, 180 degrees produces the same motion blur, no matter which frame rate you use. When using shutter speed, however, the shutter is given an absolute value determined independently of the frame rate, so the results differ if you change the frame rate. For example, when shooting at 24 frames per second, a 1/48 of a second shutter speed produces pleasing motion blur at the equivalent of a 180-degree shutter angle. Flicker-free shutter based on 50 Hz or 60 Hz. Select according to your country's frequency of the local mains power supply. Pocket Cinema Camera 4K has an image stabilization option to enable or disable image stabilization on lenses without a physical switch. Use the timecode drop frame option to use drop frame timecode when using NTSC project frame rates of 29.97 and 59.94. Drop frame timecode skips a small number of frames from the timecode at set intervals. This keeps your project timecode accurate despite each second not containing a whole number of frames at NTSC frame rates. The second page of the Setup tab contains the following settings. On the top of your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, you'll notice 3 function buttons. These can be mapped to frequently used features and are quickly accessible when using your camera. To set these buttons, select a function button, and then the behavior, settings, and parameters you want for that function. When set to preset behavior, pressing a function button recalls a combination of a setting and a parameter, and when set to toggle behavior, pressing a function button toggles a particular setting on or off. Pocket Cinema Camera has a small LED on the front to indicate the recording status of the camera and the program and preview tally status when connected to Blackmagic ATEM Mini. It's controlled under the tally LED setting. To enable or disable the tally light indicator, use the tally light LED switch. The brightness of the LED can also be adjusted from low to high. Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera has an option to automatically turn down the brightness of the LCD touchscreen during periods of inactivity to conserve battery power. Select an option for dim display after to set how long to wait before dimming the display. Next time you touch the LCD touchscreen, it will return to its normal brightness level. If you cannot see this option, then update your firmware. Hardware and software are self-explanatory. For updating your camera software, please see our video link in the description. Playback section allows you to select whether to play back a single clip or all clips on the LCD touchscreen. Bluetooth control lets you control your camera wirelessly from portable devices. Using the Blackmagic Camera Control app, you can change settings, adjust metadata, and trigger record remotely from a mobile device. Connect using Blackmagic app to use this functionality of the camera. Final setup page consists of factory reset, pixel remapping, motion sensor calibration, and LCD white balance calibration. To reset the camera to its default factory settings, tap the Reset Camera Settings button. The CMOS sensor used in your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera is made up of millions of pixels that respond to light. Some pixels can change in brightness over time following sensor calibration in the factory. As a result, they become more visible and become what is known commonly as hot pixels. To solve this, use pixel remapping calibration feature built into the camera, which you can run if you see any hot pixels in the image. To begin this process, simply put on the lens cap and run the pixel remapping feature by tapping the Remap Pixels button. The process takes approximately 1 minute to complete. This is a nice feature on Blackmagic design since it restores your camera from hot pixel. To calibrate the horizon meter, place your camera on a surface you know is level and tap the Calibrate Motion Sensor button. It is essential that you keep the camera stable during calibration. The process takes approximately 5 seconds to complete. To perform LCD white balance calibration, adjust the LCD temperature and LCD tint controls so that the two reference patches look neutral. After you change the settings, you can use the reset button to return the controls to the factory calibration. The restore button brings back your new settings, which helps you compare the appearance before and after calibration. In the next video we will look at preset settings. Thank you for watching, and make sure to watch the next video. Have a nice day and subscribe.